Ohio, second round action from the Midwest region. The number 12 seed, the Buffalo Bulls, taking on the 5th seed, the West Virginia Mountaineers. And a look at the brackets. Winner here will take on the survivor of the Maryland-Valparaiso game, which will be coming up from Columbus. And we welcome you courtside. Hi, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Doug Gottlieb. Evan Washburn will join us as well. You play all year to get to a moment like this. West Virginia and Buffalo, two great stories getting into the tournament and distinct styles. West Virginia, frenetic. Buffalo under Bobby Hurley, they like to go up and down.
They do, and they play with 3 point guards. They're going to need all three because West Virginia presses the entire game. Can they withstand that pressure? Yep. Can they score against that pressure? And can they rebound against West Virginia? That's the big questions for Buffalo if they want to pull off the upset.
Well, for Buffalo, Bobby Hurley has been such a big part of the story because he's back in the NCAA tournament as a participant for the first time in 22 years. His senior year at Duke. He addressed his team before the game inside the locker room.
We're going to be the aggressor. They hang their hat on aggression, and so do we. So we'll see who wins that battle, all right? And have fun playing and attack the moment. Have fun playing and attack the moment.
And they will look to attack the moment with this starting five. Evans, Bearden, Skeet, Moss, and Ford for the Bulls. West Virginia, Brown, Staten, Miles, Holton, and Williams. Bob Huggins, 8th year as the head coach at his alma mater. He has been a head man for 30+ years. And Huggins is back in the NCAA tournament after a 2-year absence. West Virginia and Buffalo to get things started today in Columbus. The State University of New York at Buffalo making its first NCAA tournament appearance in school history. West Virginia in the white, and the Mountaineers control the tip. Jawan Staten, who has been banged up. Staten is in there along with his fellow senior Brown, and the jump shot goes for Daxter Miles from the outside. That gets the scoring started. There's the pressure. Buffalo handles it. Driving to the rim. It's good. Justin Moss, and they'll call an offensive foul. Wave it off. Moss, the MAC player of the year, called for the offensive.
You're going to notice that Buffalo is going to attack the pressure, and I think that's a pretty good call. As Devin Williams planted his feet, he is the protector. On made baskets, they'll put a big man back. They want one protector back guarding the basket. Bobby Hurley, obviously a former great point guard. Point guards like to attack pressure. They don't like to attack it and then pull it out and set up their offense.
Devin Williams, West Virginia up 3-0. West Virginia up 5-0. Williams, the powerful sophomore out of Cincinnati. Pull-up jumper for Ford. Off the rim, doesn't go. Rebound ripped down by Williams for the Mountaineers. Staten attacking the rim, doesn't go. Pop to the outside, and it's controlled by Skeet. Foul called. Bobby Hurley very animated on the sidelines. He's talked about controlling some of that just to let his team know that he's got it under control as well. We know what kind of competitor he was as a player.
Well, right now he's telling Xavier Ford, hey, listen, we want to attack, but that's a bad shot. That's not something we want you. He's made 16 threes all season long. Don't take a 3 in transition.
Staten called on the foul. They handle that pressure once again off the inbounds with Bearden. Fearless freshman. Turnover. Buffalo having a tough time getting untracked.
Well, you know how it is. You have practice yesterday, you go back to the room, you watch all these upsets, and you're Buffalo, you have a great game plan, you want to be in attack mode. You just come out a little bit too fired up. Plus, you get punched in the jaw a little bit by a 3-pointer and then an easy bucket. West Virginia's got to roll, and Buffalo's got to calm themselves.
This is a West Virginia team that was number 2 in scoring in the Big 12, just under 74 points per game. Devin Williams gives it up. West Virginia can come at you in waves. Holton the jumper. Doesn't go. Holton trying to follow. Going the other way. Holton on the push.
And that's the second foul on West Virginia. There are some things you're going to see in every West Virginia game. They're going to pick up full court. They're going to, sometimes their best offense is just shooting the basketball and going and getting it. And they foul. They foul a lot. They foul more than anybody else in the country.
They are number 1 in the nation in fouls. Timeout taken. Skeet couldn't get it in cleanly. Hurley upset early. West Virginia up 5-0 on Buffalo. Columbus, let's take a look behind the stats presented by LG. 23 wins for Buffalo, tying a school record. West Virginia, they lead all of college basketball in steals and offensive rebounds as well.
They're not efficient, but they get after it and they play high possession basketball. They allow you at times to get some pretty good looks, knowing that the fatigue and the physicality of their defense will wear you down, and they're guessing you're only going to get one shot, while they're going to get 2 or 3 shots on a possession.
And there's the foul on Gary Brown. We told you about the injury that Staten has been dealing with, a left knee injury. Brown has been dealing with a high ankle sprain.
Well, Staten, the preseason Big 12 Player of the Year, you lose that type of production offensively and you're going to fall off. He's only been cleared for full practice this week.
Open look. And the 3 ball doesn't go once again for Xavier Ford, the Colorado Springs native. So Buffalo still looking to get on the board. West Virginia in front 5-0 with 2 minutes gone by in this first half. Working around the perimeter, Brown, the senior. Give it up. Williams. Tough shot on the inside. Devin Williams. Strong hands, good post moves, and already with a couple of buckets. Spread the floor. 7-0 lead for the Mountaineers. Shannon Evans trying to set things up. Consistent sophomore, averages 15.5 points per game. Double him, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by West Virginia. Buffalo will retain it with 16 to shoot.
This is the last possession. Devin Williams, he is so improved as a low post player. Watch, he faces up, a rip through and sweep to the baseline, and Moss is just too little.
Changes for West Virginia coming as Williams scores on the inside.
So oftentimes, post players, they just get it and they try and play bully ball. That's an advanced post move from Williams.
Nathan Adrian, Elijah Macon are in for West Virginia. They'll play 13 players. Bob Huggins will make changes 2, 3 at a time.
And that's why they're able to foul so much, because they play so many guys.
Skeet gives it up. Shot clock violation. They run out of time. Slow out of the gates. Bobby Hurley looking for some kind of burst off the bench, and he will send in Will Regan and Rodell Wigginton.
Well, it's important to remember, if you're Bobby Hurley, that these are very, very long games. And as he gets into it with the bench a little bit, remember, you got a timeout coming, under 16, already took one, and though you have no momentum now, those timeouts can kill any of this momentum that West Virginia has.
Buffalo has turned it over 3 times. They are 0 of 2 from the field. Tough delivery doesn't go from Macon. Rebounded by Buffalo. It'll be Bearden, the freshman from Milwaukee, handling the pressure. Splits defenders all the way. Bearden rejected. Nathan Adrian. So the pressure at midcourt, Adrian protecting the rim, and Buffalo still has not scored.
Yeah, but here's what's unique, though. 2 things. One, West Virginia is pressing on missed shots. Nobody does that. Matter of fact, I don't believe anybody's done that in college basketball since the late Skip Prosser did it at Xavier. Very difficult to get your team organized and press on missed shots. And secondly, Bearden's going to continue to attack. He's going to the rim, and they're almost in the bonus already. As poorly as they've played, as poorly as they've shot the basketball, the ability to put West Virginia in the bonus, knowing they're going to continue to foul, is a great gift for UB.
Personal foul on Macon, 4th team foul against West Virginia. And now Javon Carter checks in, only a freshman, as he replaces a fellow freshman, Daxter Miles Jr. Those 2 really stepped forward in the absence of Staten and Brown late in the season.
Carter can really shoot, can stretch the defense, and you'll see he's got a lot more bounce in his step. He's playing with a ton of confidence.
Raheem Johnson has checked in for Buffalo. 7-2 lead for West Virginia. Brown gives it up. Adrian, corner pop off the rim. Good rebound for Buffalo on the box out. Wigginton, the junior. West Virginia wanted to travel, no call. Buffalo out of sorts on the offensive end. Bearden, they give him that 3, he won't take it. Entry, Johnson, turnaround. Missed it badly. Regan working the glass. It never hit the rim. Jump shot, it goes. Shannon Evans from deep. The net did not come down cleanly, so they had to address that. And we'll pick it up at the 16:01 mark.
Just a little note from shooting on these hoops yesterday. Really long nets, which slows down your ability to get the ball out of that net. And it's very rare that nets hang anymore.
So that's where you can go next level. That's a long net. You picked up on that. Brown a three, whether the net's long or not. When you put it on all net for Brown, it's irrelevant.
Well, Gary Brown's now hit 2 threes, and there's a guy that when he gets heated up, when he gets microwaved, he can give you points in a hurry.
The pressure, Evans. We are under 16 minutes to play. Bullet feed, and it's out of bounds. Johnson couldn't get it down low. 4 Buffalo turnovers. West Virginia taking advantage. The Mountaineers, the number 5 seed in the Midwest, going up against the 12 seed Buffalo on TNT. NCAA champion, Final Four most outstanding player, 1992 all-time leader in assists with nearly 1,100 in his career. Now the head coach of the Buffalo Bulls. Time for our Power Aid sideline report as we check in with the third member of our crew. It's Evan Washburn.
Well, and obviously Bobby Hurley has a resume as a player that any college basketball player would dream of. But as head coach of Buffalo, taking on Kentucky this season in early November, he needed a little bit of a confidence boost. So he dusted off the 1992 championship ring that he had with Duke. He hadn't worn it before. He felt like he needed something going into Rupp that he could look down to and say, yeah, I've done it as a player. Now, obviously, they didn't win this game, but the ring magic stuck, and he's been wearing it every game day since, including today, hoping to pull off this upset against West Virginia.
And Evan, they actually had a lead at halftime over Kentucky by 5, then lost 71 to 52. West Virginia attacking and getting the bucket. 12-5 lead for the Mountaineers as Jawan Staten takes it all the way to the rim. Bearden swings it to the West Virginia bench. Out of bounds.
Well, this is called an ATO, after the timeout. Watch what West Virginia does. They're just going to empty this side and make you chase and clear out for Jawan Staten, the preseason Big 12 Player of the Year. Not a great shooter, but a phenomenal driver. He shakes off the defense, sees the help coming, and lays it in off the window.
Bobby Hurley looking for some kind of combination. He does not have a deep team. He plays 8. That's it. West Virginia, we've seen just about everybody that's available in there, and miscommunication. Williams looks over to his head coach, Bob Huggins, and says, I thought my teammate would be right there. He wasn't.
But you notice West Virginia, they're moving the ball side to side. They want to get their offense moving. And one of the things when you lose a little bit early in a conference tournament, it does allow you to work on some things that you haven't had time to work on during conference play because you're trying to rest people's legs during conference play. Evans
crossing over, and the scoop doesn't go. Rebound cleared by Holton for West Virginia. Staten. Foul called on Regan. So Staten will shoot a pair of free throws for the Mountaineers.
Jawan Staten is a fearless, attacking, scoring guard. Began his career at Dayton, who we'll see later tonight, take on Providence.
Second foul on Will Regan. Staten suffered that left knee injury versus Texas on February the 24th. Missed the last 4 games of the season, averaging 14.5 points, just under 5 assists. First round coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship begins today on ESPN2 and ESPN3. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. We asked Coach Huggins about Staten. He said, look, he struggled as a sophomore. He came to his house and asked him if he had any tapes of Nick Van Exel and Steve Logan, 2 standouts at Cincinnati. And Huggins said, yeah, I got tapes, plenty of tapes. He sat down and watched them. He wanted to learn how to play the right way.
He also wanted to learn how to play the right way for Bob Huggins.
Second 7-0 run of the game for West Virginia. And a foul called out front on Holton. 14-5 lead for the Mountaineers. That's number 2 on Holton.
Evans, one of the 3 point guards that Buffalo will play together. Skeet was a point guard earlier in his career, and of course Bearden is their starting point guard. They believe it allows them to break pressure, whereas other teams wouldn't.
Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by West Virginia. It was Carter who got a piece.
It's funny, he's talking about Nick Van Exel. Of course, Nick Van Exel was point guard of their Final Four club in 1992 when Bobby Hurley's team won the national championship. They lost by a couple to Michigan, the Fab Five. Felt like if they made free throws, they would have played Duke, would have beat Duke. They're a very, very physical team. That's how they feel. I'm not saying that's how I feel. I'm saying that's how they feel. I was in the arena that day.
So you're just relaying their opinions that they would have beaten Duke.
With Corey Blunt, Nick Van Exel, that was a pretty good team.
Jaron Skeet out front. Regan playing with 2 fouls. Buffalo searching for offense right now. Shot clock is down to 7. Jump shot for Skeet. Too strong. Contested. Never hit the rim. Have to go back with it. The spin move doesn't go for Johnson. Hangs up there. Buffalo can't buy one, but a foul called. Buffalo is 1 of 7 from the field.
Yes, but they're in the bonus. Right? They're in the bonus, and they continue to crash the glass. This is a good rebounding club. I understand it's for the MAC conference, okay? So rebounding in the MAC is not like rebounding in the Big 12. But they're doing to West Virginia what West Virginia does to so many others. And that's throw it up there and try and go get it.
Wigginton missing on the first attempt. Substitution, Xavier Ford in, and Regan, the Buffalo native, will sit. Out of the Nichols School, same school that produced Christian Laettner. 58% shooter on the year, Rodell Wigginton from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Misses on a pair. Offensive rebound, high off the window, doesn't go. For Johnson, fighting for it. And it'll stay right here for Buffalo. West Virginia out of bounds off the rebound action.
No, Raheem Johnson got the ball underneath, but then just kind of goosed it up, threw it up too quickly, and was off balance. Got to make some of those.
Jump shot doesn't go for Skeet. Chance for another rebound. Foul called right in front of Bobby Huggins, and he reacts. Ron Groover, Wally Ratecki, and Raymond Steins, the officiating crew.
One of the all-time great reactions. I mean, I don't know how you call foul on anybody. That's just a box out. Look at Bob Huggins.
It's Adrian called on the foul. You see the Adrian reaction. The Huggins reaction was a bit more demonstrative.
Nathan Adrian, he had inside position. He was boxing out. His arm got caught up with Raheem Williams. I mean, he could have called a double foul or no foul or 2 points for a takedown.
Xavier Ford at the line, 1-1. That's 17 fouls, 6 minutes and 28 seconds into the first half. West Virginia is playing to the scouting report.
And Xavier Ford, who took a couple early threes, got chastised by Bobby Hurley, sat on the bench, caught his breath. His improvement, this is a team on an 8-game winning streak, his improvement has paralleled the improvement of the Buffalo Bulls late in the season.
He was the MAC tournament MVP. Buffalo knocked off Central Michigan 89-84 in the Mid-American Conference Championship game. First NCAA tournament appearance in school history. West Virginia leads at 14-7. Billy D. Williams. Yes, that Billy D. Williams, or the other one, is in the game for West Virginia. Ball stripped away. Scooped up by Page. Jump shot. Doesn't go for Carter. And it's out of bounds. Unless they got a foul call off that rebound action, and they did. It'll be against Buffalo.
This is every West Virginia game ever. Hey, ball goes up, it's just a battle, and that's a good call. Adrian had inside position. He did not get the benefit of the doubt when he boxed out Xavier Ford last time down. Does get it, rightfully so.
Wigginton is called on the foul.
This is one problem, though, for Buffalo. Right? They're standing up to the bully. Right? They're not going to allow themselves to be pushed around. But they only play 7 or 8 guys. Whereas West Virginia, they have depth. I mean, Bob Huggins ruined your day yesterday saying, we're going to go 13 deep. And you said, look, I got 18 to prepare for, Bob.
It's not the best scenario for a play-by-play guy. Tipped in. Off the miss. Nathan Adrian Wow. Busting through, and there's Bearden splitting defenders all the way. Knocked out of bounds. And last touch by Buffalo.
Now the shot goes up, and that's when West Virginia's offense really starts. And how about Nathan Adrian? He doesn't pout because he got a foul called on him at the other end. He gets one offensive rebound, and then he gets another tip in, and the ears are eaten down low.
Daxter Miles Jr. sits. Gary Brown is back in. Buffalo is 1 of 9 from the field. 6 turnovers. West Virginia is 6 out of 12, and another whistle. In this slow-moving first half, lots of fouls in the first 7 minutes and change. 17 fouls against West Virginia, 5 against Bobby Hurley's squad.
Yeah, at some point you might want to just go zone so that you don't foul.
Jaron Skeet called on the latest foul for the Bulls. Out for Staten. His team in front, 16-7. Working around the perimeter, Gary Brown, who did play in the NCAA tournament for West Virginia. That's a great set on the inside. Able to work into Tariq Phillip, the sophomore from Brooklyn, New York. Double-digit lead for West Virginia. Get it in for Ford. Need to get it into the hands of a guard. He does with Skeet. Now they come converging on Skeet. High pass. Moss is yet to get involved. Got that early foul. Long jump shot. Skeet rimming, no. Rebounded by Staten of West Virginia.
Playing right into West Virginia's hands. Throwing the ball all over the court and taking a deep contested three.
Paint points, 8-0 in favor of the Mountaineers. They lead it 18-7. Brown sets things up. Phillip works it around the perimeter. Staten, one-on-one with Evans. The jump shot, book it. Jawan Staten, Dayton, Ohio native, extends the West Virginia lead. He's got 6, 20-7 Mountaineers. Skeet breaks the pressure, but they've had big problems in the half court. Bearden cups the ball. Athletic play. It's good, and a foul. Lamonte Bearden going to the free throw line. And we'll get a timeout.
Now, when you in the face of pressure, you need to attack. Lamonte Bearden goes to the rim, and one. Ears up 11.
All right, Greg, thanks very much. We check out our tournament summary. State of Ohio is undefeated. Dayton, Xavier, Ohio State, Cincinnati, all victories. State of Texas has taken the collar so far. Baylor, Texas Southern, Texas, SMU, and Stephen F. Austin.
State of Texas has messed with the bull and gotten the horns, huh?
Did you say that because of the Buffalo Bulls or just the Texas thing?
That was just the Texas
riffing.
thing.
You were riffing.
I was riffing.
Yeah.
Just felt it at the moment.
Bearden comes up short. Can't convert on the three-point play, and Buffalo trailing West Virginia by 11.
And it's really interesting watching Michigan State, who of course took Wisconsin to overtime in the Big Ten Tournament Championship, how much they've improved in the last month of the season.
Travel against West Virginia out front. Williams shrugging his shoulders. That is the third Mountaineer turnover.
It was a good call. Tried to run a quick little set to get Gary Brown a post-up. One of the things West Virginia has been able to do is score inside against the fairly diminutive Buffalo guards.
Extended time here for Wigginton. The drive glances off the hand of Moss, trying to save it, and it's controlled by West Virginia. Staten setting things up, using the screen. Good entry. Macon scores on the interior. 6'9", 240. Redshirt freshman Burley out of Columbus, Ohio, a local game. Marion Franklin High School. 22-9 West Virginia. Just 2 field goals for Buffalo, 7 turnovers. Moss leans in, and the floater goes for Justin Moss.
Remember, West Virginia plays at the 3rd fastest pace in terms of number of possessions in the country. So there are times defensively where if you take your time, they will let down their guard.
22-11, West Virginia leads it. Bank shot goes, and the foul. West Virginia continues to push it on the inside. Tariq Phillip.
He just goes one-on-one and goes and gets a bucket. And that's one of those cases where either you didn't pay attention to the scouting report or you didn't have a good enough scouting report. Here's West Virginia in a nutshell. These are thanks to the folks at Synergy Sports Technology. Third in possessions a game, but they only score at a rate of .848, which means they don't do it very cleanly, but they get a lot of it. They play a high possession, high tempo game, and they want to force you to play in their style, which so far has worked.
Phillip comes up short of the free throw line. West Virginia is 10 of 16 from the field. That's 63%. Moss rolls to the rim. Slam down on the follow. Raheem Johnson.
Now that actually should have been a technical foul. It's an automatic tee if you slap the backboard on the way down. I'm glad that these officials didn't call one because it's not necessary.
This is a West Virginia team that was 17-16 last season, 13-19 in 2012-2013. They've finally gotten used to the Big 12 and all the travel that comes with it. And they've got a roster that's set up to play Bob Huggins style.
How about this game is twice as close as the nearest Big 12 school is to Morgantown.
Jump shot for Javon Carter.
Would you go with twice as close or half as far?
Twice as close.
It's a better way of using the same stat, correct?
Exactly. I thought you nailed it. I didn't question it. Or half as far. Bank shot for Shannon Evans using the window. Buffalo chipping away, at least trying to.
I talked to 3 coaches from the MAC, and they said when you watch these teams in layup lines, you'll say Buffalo's got no shot. But Bobby Hurley doesn't think they have no shot, and they embody everything he was as a player and everything he is as a coach. They're going to keep coming after you.
Tariq Phillip gives up his dribble. Brown, the senior, one of the leaders of the team, comes to the ball. Brown penetrates. Rejected. It's Johnson. Williams almost gets it to go, and a foul. Offensive rebounds. Nobody has been better in college basketball than West Virginia.
Woo, but can we just for 1 second? Oh, what a block. Raheem Johnson. I mean, he ended up getting a foul because of it.
It sends Devin Williams to the free throw line. Foul on Johnson. Williams a 69% shooter. Tired of hearing the same sports headlines on repeat? Get everything about your favorite teams and get it all first. Download the TeamStream app from Bleacher Report.
Williams is a player who he has asthma and allergies, and they've bothered him throughout his high school and early in his college career. But he has worked tirelessly on his conditioning, and one of the things that Bob Huggins teams all have is great mental toughness as well as physical toughness.
You've got an Ohio theme here, though, with a number of players and with Huggins as well. He's got Ohio roots. His brother Larry played at Ohio State. Huggins moved from West Virginia to Ohio, and his dad Charlie got a new job as a high school coach, a legendary coach in the state of Ohio. And a foul called as Shannon Evans reacts after the whistle.
And Daxter Miles talking to him. Evans can talk all he wants. He just got his pocket picked. Overhandling the basketball a little bit. Bobby Hurley wants you to attack, but you got to be careful against these West Virginia guards, and now you're in the bonus. If you make West Virginia beat you at 1 shot from 3, and they beat you, tip your cap. But if you turn the basketball over, you give them free throws, and you give them second shots on offensive boards, they're going to beat you by 20. That's how they win. That's who they are.
They're not a great free throw shooting team. They're 66% on the season, as Javon Carter, 77% shooter from Maywood, Illinois, knocks down the first. And we asked Huggins about being back in Ohio, his family. He said, I don't have a rear view mirror. It's all forward for me. So in other words, he didn't want to talk about it.
No, I understand, but it would be very difficult to have a car without a rear view mirror. But who uses it anymore with the backup camera?
But here's the thing, you would get a ticket. That would get you a ticket, no rear view mirror. 27-15, West Virginia, number 5 seed in the Midwest, in front. Buffalo opened up 1 of 10. They found a rhythm here of late. 4 of their last 5 have been makes. Bearden whips it inside. Two-handed slam. Raheem Johnson left alone. 10-point lead for West Virginia. We're down to 7:37 to play, first half. Staten handles it for the Mountaineers. Grew up 72 miles west of Columbus in Dayton. Turns it over. Lead pass, Bearden gives it up. Trailer. It goes. Shannon Evans leaning in. Buffalo down by 8 to West Virginia. Bob Huggins takes a timeout at the 7:15 mark. First half.
Now Buffalo hanging around, turning their own defense into offense. Bulls keeping it close.
Now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today.
Bird, that acronym again, ATO, after the timeout. Bob Huggins, like so many veteran coaches, they pride themselves on, we called the timeout, we got a TV timeout coming up next break. The last ATO they had, they ran an isolation for Juwan Staten, and he ended up getting a layup. Let's see what he does on this possession.
No team in college basketball forces more turnovers than West Virginia under Bob Huggins. 19.6 per game. Their style can wear you down with that full court pressure and the fact that he can mix and match so many players. Buffalo took a punch early. They've responded. It's 27-19. Mountaineers. Macon goes back to get it. This is out of the timeout for West Virginia. Staten using the Macon screen. Regan back in there for Buffalo. Miles feeds the post. Williams, little bump from Johnson. And Williams going to the free throw line. That's the second foul on Johnson. The Buffalo Bulls, State University of New York at Buffalo at its first ever NCAA tournament in Columbus. They trail West Virginia first half. This as we check out the game summary. West Virginia in front 27-19. They've shot it well, 10 of 18. They've limited the turnovers. Buffalo has gotten to the free throw line and they found their footing here. Ian Eagle and Doug Gottlieb here in Columbus. All right, your first ever appearance in the NCAA tournament. You know there's going to be some jitters. It's a first for Buffalo. Have you sensed that they've settled down a bit and found a bit of a rhythm?
I think so, and I think it's actually helped when you get a dunk. You get a dunk, you get a block shot. You get a play to which you feel like you can scream at the camera and bump your chest with one of your teammates.
Is that what you would do?
I tried to do it to you, but you left me hanging. Absolutely.
You were screaming at me. I had no idea why. That's how you get pumped up for the tournament.
You're frustrated. Your coach is frustrated with you. You're playing too fast. West Virginia's got you all heated up. They started out shooting 1 of 10 from the floor, and they're 6 of 7 since. Why is that? They're getting offensive rebounds, putbacks, and dunks, and they feel a little bit better about themselves. Now let's see if you can break the pressure and score and be calm within the half court.
27-19, West Virginia. Williams at the free throw line. Michigan State and Georgia over on True TV. You can check that one out with a spot in the third round on the line.
Keep an eye on number 2 in the black jersey with the ball right now, Will Regan. He's a shooter. Now he's playing the power forward position. He's being guarded by a true big. And they want to exploit that mismatch with Elijah Macon guarding it.
Swing it. Over to Moss. Makes his move. The twirl. It goes. Justin Moss. Nicely done. Junior college transfer, Indian Hills Community College in Iowa. Signed originally with Toledo.
Well, this is what you get when you get compact, sawed-off, undersized bigs. Great athleticism. The new Shaq of the MAC, Justin Moss.
You think Gary Trent right now is watching and saying, yeah, the original Shaq of the MAC.
Right.
Buffalo has made its last 5 shots. It's a 12-4 run, and the West Virginia lead is down to 6. We approach 6 minutes to play in this first half. Dexter Miles Jr. handling it. Now Staten gets Williams involved. Shot clock is down to 9. Williams makes his move. Williams is fouled. Bobby Hurley unhappy with the call.
This style of West Virginia, press Virginia, it affects everybody. Okay, it gets your coaches riled up. Let's see what happens with Will Regan. You got him on the arm. It's a good call. Got to protect the shooter.
So Regan picks up the foul,
but it affects everybody. And Bobby Hurley's known for his sideline antics anyway. But he's on to his team. He wants them to react. He wants them to be tough, but he doesn't want to give away free points. Well, he jumped the official, but he's wrong there.
Hurley was away from the game for 11 years after retiring in the NBA, and by his own admission, he needed to shut it down. He had had enough. You asked him about it yesterday. And then
he just said, I was burnt out.
The fire was lit again.
And for people who don't remember, not only the all-time assist king and two-time national champion, but he was struggling with the Sacramento Kings, got into a horrific car accident. Took him a long time to rehab. When he did, he tore his ACL. Was never the same. He just burnt out on playing basketball. Needed some time away.
Came back as an assistant coach under his brother Danny at Wagner, then followed him to Rhode Island and got the head coaching opportunity last season with Buffalo. What a turnaround for this Bulls program. 29-21 West Virginia. Open look for Ford. He cans it. A 3. Xavier Ford, who shoots it at 32% from downtown. He's really improved that jump shot. 29-24, Buffalo 6 straight makes. Hard drive, Carter, rims out. Rebound snared by Moss for Buffalo. Evans will bring it across. 5-point game with 5:10 to go. First half. And a foul called against West Virginia.
Well, here's the respect of Justin Moss. Justin Moss rolls up and sets an on-ball screen, and as he rolls, the defense collapses. And watch the easy, open jump shot in rhythm. That is just perfect. That's called a weak side lift. You want to roll and then raise the weak side and get an easy, open jump shot for Xavier Ford.
Second foul called against Williams. Free throw is off the mark for Moss. And Billy D. Williams is back into the game for West Virginia. Out front, Dexter Miles Jr. gets word from the West Virginia bench what they want to run. Give it up. Williams jump shot. No. Williams there for the offensive rebound and a reset for the Mountaineers. Staten in a matchup with Bearden. 29-24 West Virginia. Staten makes his move. Side rim for Carter. And here comes Bearden the other way for Buffalo. They get locked up. Williams and Moss just outside the lane. And more free throws for Justin Moss of the Bulls.
This is a Buffalo team that lives at the free throw line. 35th in the country in free throws attempted.
They shoot it at 72% as a team. 24th in the nation in scoring, 74.2 points per game. They're now 5 out of 9. TNT's hit series, The Last Ship, returns this summer with an all-new set of episodes. Don't miss the season premiere this June on TNT.
We're going to talk a lot about analytics. It's a big discussion point in basketball, not just college, obviously in the NBA, but free throw rate. What the percentage of time you get to the free throw line is. This is a high free throw rate team against a team that fouls a ton. And you have to go make those free throws. But Buffalo has withstood the push of the years. They have stabilized themselves.
Buffalo has wins this season over South Dakota State, Akron, Central Michigan. Those are the ones that stand out on the resume. The loss to Kentucky, a loss to Wisconsin, 68-56 back in late December. West Virginia played a very tough schedule in the Big 12. Taking the baseline, out of bounds, turnover Macon. That's 5 Mountaineer turnovers in the first half. Bob Huggins in his 8th year as head coach at West Virginia 1 year at Kansas State, 16 years at Cincinnati, 5 years at Akron, 3 years at Walsh College. A tri-captain his senior year at West Virginia, wrapping up in 1977. Jump shot doesn't go. Too strong for Moss. 29-26. Buffalo is down 22-9. They're on an extended 17-7 run.
And now Buffalo in a 2-3 zone.
Three Ohio natives on this team: Staten, Devin Williams, and Macon. Jumper from the outside. It's a triple. Jay-Sean Page provides offense off the bench for West Virginia. And a steal by Page. 2-on-2 up ahead. Staten the lob. Too high. He's throwing it to a 6'2" guard. But Page takes it away again. Staten Euro step and a blocking foul. 3:01 to play in the first half. 10th turnover for Buffalo. Free throws coming for Jawan Staten. 6-point lead for the Mountaineers over the Bulls here in Columbus. And Greg, if it is Virginia, that was a battle last year at Madison Square Garden between Michigan State and the Cavaliers.
It was as good a basketball game from a coaching and player perspective as you're going to find. Both teams with playing tremendously tough physical basketball, and obviously Michigan State survived and then lost to UConn, the eventual national champion, who came out of the Garden.
32-26. We've talked a lot about Buffalo stabilizing. What have you seen, though, out of West Virginia in this first half?
Well, Buffalo tried to go to a 2-3 zone. They're not a zone team. 95% of the time they play man, and they left Jay-Sean Page open. They ran a nice little zone offense. Page gets an open three, and then they get 2 consecutive steals. How about this for a stat, Ian? 9 assists, 16 turnovers total. Both teams combined in the game so far.
Brandon Watkins in the game for West Virginia, along with Billy D. Williams.
It's the opposite of efficiency. It's inefficient, but it's how West Virginia chooses to play based upon the depth of their personnel, the strength of their personnel, and the size of their personnel.
Winner will play the winner of the Maryland-Valparaiso game, which is coming up here in Columbus. 34-26 Mountaineers. 8 points, 3 assists for Jawan Staten, first team all Big 12.
What Buffalo's doing, they're using their guards together in tandem to get the ball in bounds, and they have what's called deep feeders, the big guys on the wings. What they need to do is, whoever the other guard is that doesn't catch the ball needs to cut to the middle and get the ball on the move. Instead, they're waiting for the double team and throwing it backwards.
Skeet gets it across. Bearden in attack mode. Right to the hole. Missed it. Tip in. Doesn't go for Moss. Point blank. And Bearden couldn't finish.
Perfect press break, but you got to make the layup.
Jay-Sean Page swings it over to Staten. West Virginia deliberate here with 2:38 to play in the first half. Staten gets a screen set out front by Watkins. Staten, left hand. Jawan Staten. Terrific move to the hoop. He's in double figures. West Virginia building the lead back up. It's 10. Bearden goes cross court. Skeet a jumper. Short. One and done for Buffalo. 7-0 run for the Mountaineers.
And that may look like an open three for Jaron Skeet, who's a good shooter, but he rushed it.
A lot of old gold and blue in the stands here as Moss comes up with a rebound for Buffalo. 36-26 West Virginia. Bearden matched up with Brown out front. Lob it. Nice entry. Anticipating the contact, and Moss will go to the free throw line as he's hit by Watkins.
This is the first clean set that Buffalo has been able to run. This is what you need to do. All they want to do is isolate Moss in the low post, take away all the weak side help. There is no one behind, and West Virginia fronts in the low post, so you got all that entire other side of the floor to throw it to.
Missing once again at the free throw line is Moss. Coming up, AT&T at the half. Scores, highlights, latest NCAA tournament news, all coming up. AT&T at the half. Watkins sits for West Virginia. Moss doesn't get the roll on the second attempt.
They missed a layup on a press breaker. They missed 2 free throws. These are missed opportunities for West Virginia. They are 6 of 12 from the line so far in the first half. Excuse me, for Buffalo against West Virginia.
10-point lead for the Mountaineers. A minute 25 left. Screen set, and it's a foul. Elijah Macon as Bearden runs into him. That's number 2 on Macon.
And Elijah Macon is sitting there saying, wait, I didn't move. The fact that I crushed Bearden on a screen is not my fault. That's his teammate's fault for not calling the screen. You can't lean. You get your feet set. You don't move. That wasn't a foul.
And they give it right back. Brown backs it out. Just over a minute to go. That's 11 Buffalo turnovers. They average 11 per game.
But you don't play against West Virginia's style, nor the depth of athletes that the ears throw at you when you're in the mat.
Staten using the Macon screen. He'll rescreen with 11 to shoot. Under a minute to go now, first half. Staten, stop and go. Out of bounds. Off of Staten, who claims that Moss touched it last on the lunge.
That was a good call. Went off his leg, and by the time that Buffalo saved it, it already bounced out of bounds.
That's the 7th West Virginia turnover. Buffalo trying to cut it to single digits. Bearden gets it ahead for Evans. Contact. Offensive foul. Leaning in is Ford.
And I don't think that was a charge, but here's what's hard. It's hard to officiate a West Virginia game. There's a foul on every possession. I don't think he was set. He hadn't been in a guarding position. You have to declare that you're guarding a man before you can set and take a charge. That's another bad call. But the problem is, you call foul every single possession, maybe even 2 or 3 in a possession. Hard to officiate.
11-second difference, shot clock to game clock. Winding down in the first half here in Columbus.
Guy gets in foul trouble, that's fine. We'll just go to our bench, put in another guy. That's how West Virginia plays.
Macon sets the screen. State crossover. Left hand, no. Macon keeps it alive, but it's controlled by Evans. Bearden accelerates. Misses on the layup. Out of bounds. Lamonte Bearden has had opportunities for Buffalo. Hearing footsteps?
No, I mean, I just think you're going too hard, too fast. Dunk the basketball. Bearden's a fantastic athlete. Dunk the ball. But that's just too much energy.
Won a couple of state titles at Germantown in Milwaukee during his high school career. We're down to 8 seconds left. Staten weaving through traffic. Kick out, Page. Rainbow 3, no. Macon knocks it over to Moss. They won't get a shot off in time. Evans too late. Comes off the rim at the horn. And we hit the break here in Columbus.
As advertised, West Virginia wants to play hard, wants to play fast, wants to play a little bully ball. They got Buffalo playing their style for about 15 of the 20 minutes in the first half.
Let's check in with Evan Washburn. Evan?
All right, thanks, Coach. Buffalo seemed to find some comfort in the middle of that half, but you obviously went on a run to close it. What changed for your team?
My guys sitting on the bench with fouls. We can't pressure with both of my 4 men sitting on the bench with fouls.
What do you need to do to obviously maintain this lead, maybe extend it here in the second half?
Get those guys back on the floor.
Coach, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Evan, Ohio's own Bob Huggins. End of the first half. West Virginia and Buffalo in the 5-12 matchup in the Midwest region. 36-26. The Mountaineers in front of the Bulls. Will send you to AT&T at the half after these messages. NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. Standing by with Buffalo head coach Bobby Hurley.
All right, thanks, Coach. Obviously, West Virginia's defense is going to have an effect. 12 turnovers in that first half. What would you like to see your guys do here offensively in the second to avoid that?
Yeah, we're going to try and play fast. That's how we play. We have to try and break it and attack it to score, but got to make better decisions, play with a little more poise and composure.
12 fouls, is that more of an effect on how this game's being called or what you guys are doing defensively?
Well, they're very physical, and they attack at both ends of the floor. So, you know, I'm not surprised. We got to do a better job at finishing. You know, we missed a couple of easy layups, and we're usually a much better free throw shooting team. If we're doing those things, we'd be right in the game right now.
Coach, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
All right, Evan, Coach, thank you very much. Ian Eagle along with Doug Gottlieb getting ready for the second half here. Look, you can't simulate what West Virginia does in practice, and there were times where it looked like Buffalo was trying to figure it out on the fly.
Yeah, Buffalo's all out of whack offensively because West Virginia is playing the type of defense that they play from the start of the season until now. They slap at the ball, they pick you up full court, they speed you up, they heat you up, if you will. And even on this possession where Buffalo gets a decent shot, Terrence Keats shoots it. He's not really open, he's not really in rhythm, and that's what West Virginia wants to make you do, is to make you shoot out of rhythm and make you turn the basketball over and give them extra possessions.
How do you adjust? What do you do in the second half?
Well, you heard Bobby Hurley say, look, we still want to attack in the press. I think what they're going to do is move Lamonte Bearden down at midcourt against the press. Their point guard, but put him at midcourt so when they throw it up to him, now he can be the ball handler. He can be the creator instead of Justin Moss, who was previously getting the basketball. They'll probably bring Moss into the backcourt. And then I think they need to attack early if they don't get an easy shot, and then attack late in the shot clock, because West Virginia gets a little bored. They want to cause a turnover, and they will give you some easy shots if you hold it for 30 seconds or so.
Buffalo did not shoot it well in that first half, didn't make their free throws consistently either. West Virginia ended the half on a 7-0 run. Buffalo cut it to 3, 29-26. But Bob Huggins' squad held Buffalo scoreless over the last 4:25.
2 missed layups right at the rim, 2 missed free throws. And even though West Virginia has badly outplayed Buffalo, and they're deeper and they can withstand this type of foul difficulty, Buffalo should be closer in this game than they actually are in the scoreboard.
36-26, Mountaineers in front. 5-12 matchup in the Midwest. Winner plays the survivor of Maryland, Valparaiso, which is coming up here from Columbus. Ball movement leads to the Evans 3. Book it. Perfect way to start this second half for the Bulls. He's got 10.
West Virginia wants to double on all of those ball screens for Lamonte Bearden. If he can keep his dribble alive and find the open man, they can get some shots, and then they just have to make them.
Williams had an impact in that first half. A back in, wearing the goggles. Williams stripped to the ball. Denied. Holton got it blocked on the inside. Xavier Ford long at 6'8", 215. Driving to the rim, Justin Moss, and a couple of quickies for Buffalo. 36-31 West Virginia.
You can always tell when a coach has challenged his team when they're out on the floor with like 5 minutes to go at the half.
Why?
Just because you don't want to see him, you don't want to talk to him, he just wants them to go play. And here's Bearden, here's the ball screen and the double team. He takes it to the baseline, he finds an opening, Skeet makes the extra pass. Lamonte Bearden with the hockey assist, keeping the dribble alive against the pressure of West Virginia.
Second foul on Moss, and then the giveaway. Staten tried to lob it in for Williams. Buffalo down 5 with the ball. That's the 9th West Virginia turnover. Jump shot, Ford, got it.
See how they're keeping the dribble alive against that hedge? It opens up the entire West Virginia defense.
36-33, what an answer to open up this second half. Buffalo is 3 of 3 from the field. The seniors, Staten and Brown, they can really dictate things on the offensive end. It's a 7-0 run for the Bulls. Out front, Daxter Miles Jr. He's been quiet since the opening three-pointer to start the game. Staten driving in, dumps it off. Williams leans in for the bucket and the foul. Devin Williams is going to the free throw line. A chance for 3.
Juwan Staten's so good. Now listen, you have to know who you're guarding, right? And understand the scouting report. Staten's not a particularly good three-point shooter, and he just abuses the freshman. Goes by, gets help, dishes off. Williams gets the benefit, but that was all Juwan Staten.
Great facilitator. Perimeter game has been a challenge for him through the years, but he's made up for it in other areas.
And this is one of those things where I understand Buffalo, you want to pressure, and that's who you are, but you got to know the scouting report, and Juwan Staten is a 17-foot and in player. You got to keep him out of the paint.
Third foul against Justin Moss, 39-33, West Virginia. Get it in for Ford, who gets it ahead for Bearden. Bearden bumped, no call. Out of bounds, and Bobby Hurley irate.
Yeah, but that was a really, really smart play in there by Devin Williams. Devin Williams doesn't foul, and then instead of trying to save the basketball, he lets it bounce out of bounds and boxes out his man because he knew that Buffalo had touched it last.
Just over 2 minutes gone by in this second half. 6-point lead for West Virginia. West Virginia back in the NCAA tournament after missing it each of the last 2 years. Bounce inside. Williams perfectly executed as Williams uses the window and extends the West Virginia lead. 12 points for Williams. And a timeout. West Virginia was looking for a 5-second call. We'll step aside. A burst from Buffalo. West Virginia has answered. Sons of coaches, something that Doug Gottlieb can absolutely relate to. That's Bob Hurley Sr., Hall of Famer on the left, and Charlie Huggins, the father of Bob Huggins, on the right. Bob Hurley Sr., longtime coach at St. Anthony's, a powerhouse in the state of New Jersey. Charlie Huggins, 27 seasons in Ohio high school basketball, 3 state titles, 2-time state coach of the year. It's in their blood.
It is in their blood, and Bob Huggins from Morgantown, and obviously Bobby Hurley, a legend at St. Anthony's where his dad was the coach, his brother the head coach at Rhode Island.
Tailing the pressure, they get it across for the jump shot. Evans, bottom. Bobby Hurley extended out to give an earful to Wally Ratecki. 13 points now for Evans. He averages 15.5 per game out of Suffolk, Virginia. Jonathan Holton got into foul trouble in the first half, dumps it down low. Miles to the hoop, and he gets the roll. 43-36, West Virginia. They move it ahead for Skeet.
They have found a matchup they like. Daxter Miles, twice in this game, has been able to post up on Jaron Skeet. He's just too slight.
And a bump out front. It'll work against Miles. Out of Baltimore, Maryland, Daxter Miles Jr. won a state title as a junior at Notre Dame Prep as a senior, attended Dunbar High School prior. Buffalo is 4 of 4 from the field in the second half, up to 46% shooting. West Virginia is shooting it at 50% overall. Part of the MAC all-freshman team, Lamonte Bearden, showing off the ball handling skills, and another foul, and the frustration is building here for West Virginia. That's number 2 on the senior from Puerto Rico, Gary Brown. New shot clock for Buffalo to work with. Bearden working on Brown. 16:25 to play, second half. 7-point lead for West Virginia. Evans, denied at the rim, and a foul is called. Jonathan Holton, the eraser, but free throws coming.
Woo! What a block from Jonathan Holton. As Shannon Evans, they call him Hollywood. He tried to go all Hollywood on the dunk. And that's perfect rim protection by Holton.
And that's the 3rd foul on Holton. Free throws here for Raheem Johnson, the junior from Detroit, 66% shooter. On the court, we're always open to try. Show us you're open to try and go to CokeZero.com today.
You heard Bobby Hurley say we're a better free throw shooting team than that. They shoot a high free throw rate. They shoot at a high percentage during the season, and they're 6 of 13 today.
Make it 6 of 14 on that miss.
This is a 72% free throw shooting team on the year.
Last time Buffalo was in postseason was the NIT in 2005. First ever NCAA tournament appearance for the State University of New York at Buffalo. Shot clock is down to 15. Williams on the outside for West Virginia. Miles moving without the ball. They couldn't get it to him. Staten with 9 to shoot. Staten drive and kick. Miles, no hesitation. Count it, a 3. Daxter Miles Jr. Trigger in for Ford. Wigginton will try to get it across. The lead is back up to 10 for the Mountaineers. Crossover, Bearden. Cross again. Wow! Lamonte Bearden. What a play going to the hole.
He is big time. He's got a ton of talent. I mean, you know, there's refinement in his handle. He missed a couple of layups in the first half. He turned the ball over, 3 turnovers at the half. But you can just see it when you watch him. He is fantastic in the open court and turn the corner off the ball screen.
And he is long and can finish at the rim despite missing a couple of layups in the first half. Inside, Adrian gets a touch. Ball gets knocked away. Adrian can't get a clean shot off. Wigginton coming the other way. Wow, he's straddling that line, able to get it across. Bob Huggins felt it was an over and back. Buffalo gets the timeout.
Well, you feel like you're playing better, and then Daxter Miles sticks the dagger in your heart. But Lamonte Bearden won't let the Bulls go away.
The MAC Player of the Year, Justin Moss from Buffalo. The fact that he's even here is a win in and of itself. With more on that story, Evan Washburn.
Back in 2011, Justin Moss was at Toledo. He was beginning his college career when he underwent a physical, and he was diagnosed with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. It's a heart condition. Now, Toledo decided that they would not allow him to play basketball. They would honor his scholarship. But Justin Moss was desperate to play basketball, and his mother, actually a resident nurse, was able to figure out a way, and through time and overtime, for him to play basketball. And what they did is they implanted a cardioverter defibrillator, and it's actually in his chest right now. I spoke with him yesterday in the locker room, and he showed it to me. It kind of protrudes out. Now, he's got a pad over it, but it doesn't affect the way he can play. Obviously physical, we've seen that tonight, and then obviously throughout the season. But it's something he's dealt with, but it's just a great story because he told me at Toledo when he heard those words that he wouldn't be able to play basketball anymore, his heart, no pun intended, sunk, and he just didn't know what he would be able to do.
Evan Regan is off the mark. He is from Romulus High School in Detroit. How did he get to Buffalo? Well, he played in high school for current Buffalo assistant Nate Oates. That was the connection. Oates told Hurley, hey, I got a guy you might be interested in. They watched some tape on YouTube from junior college, and Bobby said, yeah, no, that looks like a guy that could play for us.
No question about it. He can play, and of course had a ferocious dunk at Kentucky on Willie Cauley-Stein. Kind of his welcome to college basketball moment.
Adrian trying to get it inside for Macon, and a foul called on Regan. That'll be number 3 on Will Regan for Buffalo.
Well, now if you're Buffalo, you have to recognize personnel. Devin Williams has been the best scorer inside for West Virginia, but he's not in the game.
Jump shot goes. Javon Carter on target.
He has been so good the last month of the season.
Carter comes in, averaging 8.5 points per game. Regan, uncontested jam.
And Elijah Macon, he just doubled the basketball, left the back end open. Bob Huggins is saying, you're the rim protector. Stay there.
Foul out front. Bearden trying to keep Staten in front of him.
Okay, so Macon, he's backing up, he's backing up, he's backing up. He doesn't need to guard the basketball, he needs to guard the rim. That's the easiest 2 points you're ever going to score against West Virginia.
Bearden sits now for Buffalo. Bulls are 6 of 9 from the field in the second half. The problem for Buffalo, West Virginia is 5 out of 6. Staten gives it up for Adrian way outside. Tariq Phillip, the sophomore, gritty 6'3", 180-pounder from Brooklyn, New York, is back in. Carter puts it on the deck. Now it's Staten on the outside. Staten zigzags to the rim. Ten-point lead for West Virginia, and a foul called off the trigger against the Mountaineers.
Determined basketball is paint touches, paint touches, paint touches. You see West Virginia, Carter gets a paint touch, he gets it to Staten, he gets it inside 15 feet, going downhill towards the basket. That's death defensively. He's just too good.
Staten now with 12 points, 6 assists. Phillip called on the foul. Wigginton somehow holds on to it, scoop to the hoop. It goes down. Rodell Wigginton. Another junior college transfer out of the College of Central Florida. Won a JUCO national title with that program.
Well, now if you're Buffalo, you gotta, hey, we need to get a stop. And when the ball goes up, everybody rebounds. They, as you pointed out, Bird, they haven't gotten a stop in the second half.
Dump it down low, Macon gives it up. Foul called, and it's Carter heading to the free throw line. Get all the tournament action with the CBS Sports app. Scores, expert picks, projections, live video, and more. Download the CBS Sports app now. Javon Carter, only a freshman. He looks a bit older than freshman status.
You know, he played for Donnie Boyce at Proviso East. What an incredible high school program that is downstate in Illinois.
77% shooter. He's been a spark plug off the bench for Bob Huggins. Tough, confident, can handle the ball. Huggins will use him as a combination guard depending upon the situation. During the Staten injury and Brown injury, it was Carter and Miles who took on a lot of responsibility. West Virginia 23-9 this season, went 11-7 in the Big 12. 3 fouls now on Wigginton. High dribble. Wigginton turns the corner. Oh, a collision! Foul called. Wigginton took a shot, and it was Macon.
This is at game speed as Wigginton drives in and Elijah Macon tries to get his feet set. And poor Elijah Macon. First he runs at the basketball and he gives up a dunk, and then I protect the rim and I get a block call on me. And now of course he's out of the game.
That's number 3 on Macon. 12:18 to play. Second half, 51-42, West Virginia. 16 fouls against the Mountaineers. Evans gives it up, gets it back. Corner pop off the top of the backboard. He missed it badly. Move it ahead. Miles. Williams, no. Tip in goes. There's the length once again of Tariq Phillip. And the lead is 11 for West Virginia. Get another foul call. That's going to be team foul number 7. And it's 1-1 now for Buffalo.
Well, Shannon Evans takes a quick 3. The thing about West Virginia is they don't mind if they miss the first shot. They'll make the second. Ears eaten.
And Greg, waiting in the third round is Michigan State. Once again, Tom Izzo has his team playing its best basketball in the month of March.
They've really kind of recovered from, in the middle of conference play, the middle of Big Ten play, they struggled with interior scoring, lack of a true point guard. Travis Trice has played exceptional basketball of late. Denzel Valentine, who I thought he was the best player in the Big Ten coming into the season, has started to finally play like one of the best players in the Big Ten late in the season. D'Angelo Russell's the best player.
Winner here will play the winner of Maryland against Valparaiso, which is coming up in Columbus.
Or Frank Kaminsky or Melo Trimble, or they get some really good, obviously we're going to see 2 stars of the Big Ten coming up.
Buffalo has just 1 turnover in the second half, Doug, but they've been outscored 17-16 by West Virginia because the Mountaineers are shooting it at 7 of 9 from the field. Free throw goes for Shannon Evans, 80% shooter.
Well, they missed some free throws as Evans gets his 14th point. They missed some free throws, and they haven't been able to contain Juwan Staten and Devin Williams. Williams has done a really good job. He has 2 big buckets in the second half.
Tariq Phillip still in there for West Virginia, along with Javon Carter.
And you'll notice Staten out. Of course, remember, he's coming back from a knee injury, which kept him out for a couple of weeks. I asked him about his conditioning. He said it'd be okay today. He thought if they get a chance to play Sunday, he'd feel like he's back in game shape.
Carter using the Williams screen. The jump shot doesn't go. Rebound knocked over, and it's Miles wheeling on the inside. Williams couldn't grab it. Miles does. Third opportunity and a foul called. West Virginia doing what they do best. Offensive rebound, put the ball near the rim, get another offensive board, and get to the free throw line.
Call it bully ball, call it whatever you want. It's just effort and want to and physical strength. This team does a tremendous job in the weight room in the offseason and during the season, and it pays dividends on the board.
How about how Bob Huggins recruits, what he looks for in a player to fit his program?
Well, he challenges players. When I transferred from Notre Dame, he saw me play at a junior college event, and he was at Cincinnati at the time. And he picked up the phone and he called me. And you know what his recruiting pitch was?
Tell me.
You want to come?
That was it.
I said, well, coach, do you need we need a point guard. You want to come? And I said, well, yeah, but like what? Can I come on a visit? He's like, do you want to play defense? You want to play with great players? You want to compete every day in practice? Do you want to come?
Short and to the point.
I politely declined. Cincinnati won 7 consecutive conference titles, despite the fact I didn't go there.
55-44, West Virginia. I think it worked out.
I think they did okay.
But both sides.
Right.
You made a good choice, too.
Sure.
Loop it inside for Moss, and a foul called. Free throws coming the rest of the way here for Buffalo. In fact, for both teams. Adrian called on his 4th foul. Nathan Adrian out of Morgantown, West Virginia.
And, all coaches at the start of the season say they like their team. And the truth is, off microphone, about mid-season to the end of the season, some coaches say, like, I hate my team. I can't wait till this year is over. He legitimately likes this team. Because despite the fact they're playing 12 guys, there isn't an ego in a Juwan Staten to come in and say, like, hey, coach, I need to get 35 minutes. I need to get my shots so I can get to the league. They've all bought into the idea of they're better as an ensemble cast than they are individually.
Let's get more from Evan Washburn.
Well, Doug, I thought it was really interesting along those lines, and with the toughness that West Virginia exudes, you asked where does that come from, and you mentioned strength and conditioning, and Coach Huggins mentioned it's 5:30 in the morning all summer long for these guys, and as you know, with college students and college athletes, that's usually a time where they want to kick back a little bit, but 5:30 all summer is where this team builds what they have right now.
That's usually when Evan was getting in, right around that time. During his collegiate days at Delaware.
Those lacrosse guys, they go hard at night.
55-46, West Virginia. Williams stripped to the ball. Buffalo coming the other way, trying to trigger the break. Bearden dumps it down low. The step in and steal. It's Tariq Phillip again, having an impact for West Virginia. Slow to get down the floor, Miles.
He might have lost a tooth.
And Moss is banged up. He took a shot to the face.
Well, watch Tariq Phillip. He knows the pass is coming, so he guesses and guesses right.
Boom.
And just happens to catch an elbow. Now look, if that's a flagrant one, then that's the worst call in the history of basketball. I think they're going to go to the monitor. They're going to check it out, and they're going to say it's a basketball play. But it's one of the issues with this flagrant 1, flagrant 2 rule is sometimes basketball's a contact sport. And that was a great play from Tariq Phillip. You should not take the ball out of West Virginia's hands for a guy reading the pass and just happening to catch Justin Moss with an elbow.
Well, you knew he took a tough shot when he goes to check whether or not the teeth are actually there.
Yeah.
And the officials now huddle up. Ron Groover, Wally Ratecki, Raymond Steins. Flagrant 1, excessive contact, or pushing, holding a player from behind to prevent a score. 2 shots, ball to offended team. Flagrant 2, a different level. They have ruled that was an unintentional.
Yeah. Most times it's unintentional and it's still called. You have the ball in your hands and you try and avoid the guy, and sometimes you're going to clip him. This is just a really good defensive play.
So West Virginia holds on to the basketball with just over 10 minutes to play in the second half. 55-46. Williams to Miles. Miles is crafty down there, but he couldn't finish it. Here's the speed of Bearden. The bounce, catch, layup, no. Ford unable to finish himself. Williams whips it ahead. Miles inside. Oh, misses. Ball was still alive and out of bounds.
What a play from Lamonte Bearden. He made a tremendous pass to Moss, who, again, dunked the basketball. Stop going in and trying to lay it up. But right as Carter goes in, if he didn't get fouled, that was a tremendous, I think he just flicked the ball as Carter was going in to lay it in.
Buffalo gets it into Bearden. West Virginia backs off here. 55-46 Mountaineers. High screen for Moss. It's stolen away. Devin Williams on the move. The lob. Offline. Bob Huggins is beside himself. Didn't want to see the razzle-dazzle, and it leads to free throws. Bob Huggins telling his team, what are you doing? Why are you passing the ball when you can take it in and score?
What, big-to-big alley-oop? You don't think that's what they were working on?
No. At 5:30 a.m.? No.
No. That will cost you, that will make you run at 5:30 a.m.
West Virginia has missed 5 straight shots from the field.
Every big wants to be a guard. Every guard wants to be a big guy. And Devin Williams, jump stop, bounce pass, or just keep going until somebody tries to take a charge. Tried to be too cute and threw an alley-oop. I will say this, Lamonte Bearden's got to calm down. He's turned the basketball over twice now. He's got 6 turnovers in this game. This is a very talented freshman point guard, but West Virginia is playing him to pass. And every time he picks up the basketball, they know he's not going to shoot it. And those last 2 possessions have given away an opportunity for the Bulls to get back in this game.
Bearden's on the bench along with Moss for Buffalo. Holton called on his 4th foul for West Virginia. Another free throw here for Wigginton.
Part of the amazing part about this game, Bird, you tell me, it feels like West Virginia should be up 20, and they're up 7.
West Virginia 55, Buffalo 48. West Virginia has played its style, yet they can't seem to shake the Bulls here in the second half.
You cannot let Staten get going downhill.
Staten gives it up. Brown, long 3. Rebound, knocked over to Wigginton. Wigginton, right down the middle for the floater, short. Foul called. It's staying right here, or is it going the other way? It is going the other way. Throwing his body around, Raheem Johnson.
Well, this is Wigginton missing a layup, and Bobby Hurley saying, I took my point guard out because he was turning the basketball over. You got to just make those layups. The call, remember, is not over the back, it's displacement. But I believe it's illegal to hurdle another player and hit them on the floor, hit them on the head while hurdling them.
Is that in the rule book?
I don't know if it's specifically in the rule book, but I get a general sense from it.
3rd foul on Johnson. Free throws here for Staten. Shoots it at 71% for West Virginia. Offensive numbers were actually more impressive a year ago for Staten, but he's got a better team around him than he did a year ago.
Got a better team, and it's a very good, tough league that, because you play everyone twice, they scout you exceptionally well, and of course you're not getting as many minutes, not getting as many shots when you're playing more guys.
Staten missing the front end of a 1-and-1. 7-point lead for West Virginia. Buffalo with possession. We're down to 8:28 to play. A lot of dribbling here for Evans. 10 to shoot. Wigginton ball fake. The drive. Lost it off his hip. And another Buffalo turnover. That's 16 for the Bulls, who averaged just over 11 per game this season. West Virginia taking its time. Staten trying to dump it down low. Williams gets caught attempting to gain position on the inside. West Virginia is not running away and hiding by any stretch. Buffalo continues to hang around here in Columbus. 55-48 in the 5-12 matchup in the Midwest. As we check out our game summary, West Virginia in front 55-48. Mountaineers shooting it at 46% from the field. They've turned it over 12 times. Buffalo 16 turnovers. Mountaineers have outscored the Bulls in the paint 24-18. And they've held the MAC Player of the Year, Justin Moss, in check, in foul trouble. 10 points for Moss. He's been on the bench for a long stretch. He's back out there for Buffalo, along with Regan, Evans, Bearden, and Skeet.
This is their best offensive lineup because Regan can shoot the basketball from the power forward position.
Loop it inside. Moss is fouled. West Virginia has led from the beginning.
This is what Regan being in the game kind of brings to the table. Here's Will Regan. He's a shooter, so it opens up the lane for Moss to post up, and that's what makes the recovery so very difficult defensively for Jonathan Holton.
And Jonathan Holton is done. That's 5 fouls on Holton. He came in averaging 7.7 points, 6 rebounds per game. He was held scoreless and just 1 board for the senior from Miami.
And that's bad luck because Jonathan Holton paid attention to the scouting report. He knows that Will Regan can shoot the basketball. You see the emotion. Holton obviously carries with him. Started his career at Rhode Island, transferred to a junior college, ended up coming in here to West Virginia, and he's part of that two-headed monster that they start inside. The athleticism of Holton and Devin Williams makes it so difficult to score inside.
Moss gets the roll. Bob Hurley Sr. So many wins, but it's tougher to actually be in that spot that he's in compared to the one he's normally in on the sideline.
And it's hard to be Bobby Hurley, where you want to take the ball and break the press and set up a dunk. But your team's down 5, your freshman point guard hasn't played well, and you still got a shot against the Mountaineers.
12 points, 6 rebounds for Moss. It's a 5-point game with 7.5 to play in Columbus. Williams using his body against Regan. Staten gives it up. Gets it back with 14 to shoot. High screen, Williams. Staten swings it to the other side. Adrian looking to go high-low. Williams with 6. The spin. Williams the lean. It goes, and a foul. Devin Williams wheeling on the interior and a chance for 3.
Every player has strengths. Every player has weaknesses. And while Will Regan gives you something on offense, on defense, he's got too much finesse. And that is an absolute mismatch. And I just love this move from Devin Williams. We saw the sweep to the baseline in the first half, first bucket of the game. That's the counter move. Now, that's player development, and Devin Williams lives in the Mountaineers practice facility. Not literally, more figuratively. I want to make sure but nobody said mail there.
Yeah, that could be an issue if people are looking for
care packages. You don't want that to.
A very high praise from Huggins about Williams and his work ethic and the player that he's turned out to be in his second year. He's just given West Virginia an 8-point lead, 15 points, 5 rebounds for Williams. Intercepted. Brown steps in front of Skeet, and the turnovers piling up. 17 now for Buffalo.
And 7 for Lamonte Bearden, a super talented freshman point guard that has really struggled with the quickness and length and activity of the West Virginia defense.
Mountaineer faithful. They've got a presence here in Columbus. 9 to shoot. Staten on a kick. Miles can't hit the jumper. Williams the offensive rebound. And he's thrown down. And Williams is grabbing his right ankle. He got tied up with Regan. If it's Regan, it's number 5. And he's done.
He is so big, so strong, so active. That when Devin Williams has been in this game, he's dominated. Look, I mean, Moss is a strong guy. Oh, yeah, just his ankle kind of gets turned there, gets caught underneath. Now, most every player is taped or should be taped. But it doesn't look terrible, but it definitely doesn't look great. It doesn't look like he broke his ankle, it just looked like it rolled. But for a big, strong, incredible athlete with the type of work ethic of Devin Williams, just to see him down in pain, you know he's got to be hurt.
Williams is up and now limping back towards midcourt. He'll jog on it.
You know, you asked about the players he recruits. Other teams all take note of the West Virginia got their physical specimens, the work they do in the weight room. But one of the things Bob Huggins believes in, and you know, our teams at Oklahoma State believed in, was running at 5:30 in the morning or lifting and pushing yourself beyond what others may do. Is it builds in that natural mental toughness to where you convince yourself that everybody else doesn't get up at 5:30 and run in Morgantown or anywhere in the country. Everybody else doesn't lift as hard as we do. We can push ourselves on the floor as well as off it.
So Will Regan has fouled out for Buffalo. Williams being checked on along the West Virginia sideline.
You're still sitting there in your Buffalo. You don't have Regan, who is your stretch 4-5. You haven't played particularly well. You got foul trouble. But you only have 3 for all your guys. Just rebound the basketball, stop turning it over, and as of right now, you're only down 8.
Regan is fouled out. Holton is fouled out for West Virginia. Brown, the free throw. Gets the bounce. Williams testing out that ankle.
Gary Brown, of course, Puerto Rico. Spent some time with the Puerto Rican national team. And a guy who kind of reinvented his entire attitude going back a year ago.
Buffalo able to choose the shooter based on the injury, and he shoots 1 out of 2, plus a foul called against West Virginia following the rebound. Nathan Adrian's been throwing his weight around, and Macon as well. That's number 4 on Macon.
It is a Pier 6 brawl anytime you play West Virginia. They will make you play their style, and they will challenge your manhood on the boards.
Justin Moss at the free throw line. Double bonus. 13 points now for Moss. This family rocks the house. Don't miss Meet the Smiths, a new series premiering Friday, April 3rd at 9, 8 Central, only on TBS with our colleague Kenny Smith and company.
How tough is this kid?
He's back in, Devin Williams. The goggles are back on, which means he's ready to go. 1 out of 2 for Moss, 7 of 11 at the free throw line.
Bert, he's still running gingerly, and you got to be very careful. Just because the adrenaline has you pushing through to play, you're going to need him if you want to beat a Maryland or a Valpo coming up on Sunday afternoon.
Still have work to do here. 6 minutes to go. 59-51 West Virginia. Staten gets it back. 12 to shoot. Williams sets a high screen. Staten on a kick. Miles lines it up. Doesn't go. Rebound lodged loose, but controlled by Bearden. Ford, they needed it. Xavier Ford from downtown. 59-54 West Virginia. We have 5.5 to play. Staten handling it. Staten makes his move. Staten took a shot from Bearden. Bearden checking to see if there's any blood on his right arm.
This is just tough for Gary Brown. See, he's over by himself and trying to find out, do I guard my man or your man? He ends up choosing, and he chooses poorly. Shannon Evans open in the corner, and Xavier Ford makes them pay.
So the 3rd foul on Bearden. He's in some pain after he tried to get in between Staten and the hoop. Jawan Staten is 4 of 5 at the free throw line, the senior.
Now, I talked to Bob Huggins yesterday, and he told me, I said, Coach, 3-point guards, do you think they can break your pressure? I said, yeah, for 35 minutes or so, I think they can. But we're deeper, we're tougher, and we play this way every game of the year, every practice of the year. It's still a 6-point game. Let's see what Buffalo has in the tank, because this is where West Virginia and all their conditioning and their strength training, this is where it really pays off.
Jawan Staten goes 1 out of 2. He's replaced by Tariq Phillip. This is a 6-point game with just over 5 minutes to play.
A 1-3-1 zone, or a point guard zone.
Bearden the drive. Bearden. Wow! Lamonte Bearden taking it to the hole. 60-56, West Virginia. Under 5 minutes to play and a timeout called by Bob Huggins. Buffalo has shown fight. Bearden is banged up, but he delivers.
The freshman drives in and just makes the play. Buffalo somehow hanging around.
Region in Columbus, Ohio, and so far for the Big 12, it's been big trouble.
It has been big trouble. Now look, Baylor had a 12-point lead with 2 minutes to go and gacked it away, and Georgia State hit a 25-footer. Texas underachieved really all season and got beat up by a very physical and tough-minded Butler team. And Iowa State, that's a surprise, although they've thrown out some clunkers. I'll make this challenge to you, though, Bird. Part of the perception, which I believe to be accurate, that the Big 12 was the best conference in the country. Nobody said that there was a national championship team and maybe only one contender. It was just that you play everybody twice. There's only 10 teams. There were 7 or 8 tourney quality teams. Can you imagine playing West Virginia, then turn around playing Texas, and then turn around playing Oklahoma, who we'll see later tonight? It's an arduous journey to go through a league with that many good bodies, good teams, and 6 coaches who have been to a Final Four.
Williams loses the ball on the way up, but West Virginia retains it. Pump fake, Carter, spread the floor. Phillip with 5 to shoot. Have to work quickly here. Phillip denied on the outside. Ball up in the air, and a shot clock violation. West Virginia turns it over. They run out of time. 4:29 to play.
Now you're Lamonte Bearden, and you got to lay up. You're feeling better about yourself. You have to adjust to the adjustment. West Virginia was getting beaten by doubling and hedging hard on ball screens. But they made an adjustment. They're reading because they know he wants to pass out of it. Bearden needs to get back to attacking, and West Virginia back in there kind of, it's a 1-1-3 look.
Corner jump, Skeet, no good. West Virginia takes over. Mountaineers started the second half 7 of 9 from the field. Since that point, 1 of its last 10.
I wouldn't let Jawan Staten get the basketball, and then when he does get it, I would back way off.
Staten currently off the ball, gets it from Brown. 15 to shoot. We are under 4 minutes to play. West Virginia holding on to a 4-point lead.
He and Devin Williams in a 2-man game, and then he's looking to drive and kick out if you help.
Staten the drive, put it up high, no. Williams trying to catch it inside, and it's out of bounds off of West Virginia. Buffalo will have possession, down by 4 when we come back on TNT. Half of our daytime doubleheader that could easily go into nighttime, because this game, with all the fouls and all the free throws, it's been a long one, and Buffalo has hung in there. What have you seen defensively from West Virginia? We've seen a few different looks from Huggins.
So it looks almost like a 1-3-1 when they extend all the way to midcourt. This is the same defense they used against Kentucky in 2010. One of the great upsets, I think, in the history of college basketball.
The drive by Evans, gives it up inside. Bank shot is good, and a foul. Xavier Ford going to the free throw line. He can cut it to 1.
Here's the simple adjustment from Bobby Hurley. He knew what was coming, so he puts a shooter in the corner. Devin Williams empties out, and just because they're in a zone, and I think Bob Huggins went to the zone because of foul trouble, and Buffalo was settling for jump shots. Just because they're in the zone doesn't mean you don't attack that zone.
It rims in for 4. This is a 1-point game. 3:25 to play. Staten being watched by the freshman Bearden. Staten, the senior, using the Williams screen. Back it out to Brown, 17 to shoot. Staten comes to the ball.
He wants to get in that lane. If you're Buffalo, do everything you can to contain him.
An extended 15-5 run. Staten breaks down the Buffalo defense with a big bucket for West Virginia. 3-point lead for the Mountaineers. They spread it. Ford contested. Oh, he's got it! A three! Xavier Ford! We are tied at 62. .2:27 to go. Timeout, West Virginia. Bobby Hurley back in the NCAA tournament, this time as a head coach. And he's in a battle against West Virginia in Columbus.
Hey, Dad, can you...
Virginia with 2. Possession arrow is in favor of the Mountaineers. West Virginia with the basketball. 2:24 left to play.
Well, if you're Buffalo, you know it's Juwan Staten and Devin Williams. Now, Devin Williams doing a great job in the low post, but the go-to offense for the ears late is Staten. And he wants the ball in the middle of the floor. And because the reason you want the middle of the floor is there's no help side defensively. So he wants in the middle of the floor going downhill. And the idea is come off that screen. Now you got a big guy on you. A big guy can't contain Juwan Staten.
Doug, West Virginia has never trailed. Their largest lead in the second half was 11, 55-44. They are all tied up with Buffalo. Adrian forced to give it up. Shot clock is down to 7 and a foul called. West Virginia didn't have a whole lot going in that offensive set.
And frankly, Xavier Ford fouled earlier in the possession and they didn't call it. But you look at Bobby Hurley and the look on his face, and remember, he used to have those same gyrations and look when he played at Duke. This team embodies him. They shouldn't be in this game. They didn't play well. They turned the basketball over. They allowed West Virginia to be West Virginia. But it's that moxie that's how they play with. Don't tell them they don't belong in.
4th foul on Justin Moss. And Williams will get a second free throw. He is 6 of 8 from the line, 16 points. Tack on another. 64-62 Mountaineers. Just over 2 minutes to play. Full court pressure. Timeout Buffalo. The Bulls are down by 2 against West Virginia. Spot in the 3rd round. Heading into the timeout, and this is why.
Well, his star Justin Moss is working for position against Devin Williams. I mean, you can call that foul any time, but not now. Time and place. It's like there's a time and a place to crack a joke, right? Some of us had to learn the hard way. there's a time and a place to make that call when you're trying to clean up the game in the middle of the game, not with 2 minutes left to go in the game, and that's why Bobby Hurley is rightfully upset.
West Virginia 64, Buffalo 62. 2:10 to play here in the second half. Jaron Skeet is the trigger man for the Bulls. Get it in for Bearden. So the freshman will handle it against the pressure. Trying to get around Adrian.
And that's if you're going to call the other ones, call that foul.
Crossover.
I mean, again, you don't because there's 2 minutes to go in a great game.
We are down to 1:50 to play. 2-point lead for West Virginia.
Get it back to Bearden. He's got a big guy on him.
Skeet on the perimeter. 8 to shoot. And a timeout called. Skeet was in the corner. Buffalo uses the timeout with 8 seconds left on the shot clock. 1:43 to play. Second half. His second year as a head man. The champions of the Mid-American Conference Tournament. Associate head coach at Rhode Island for a year, assistant at Wagner for a year, under his brother Danny, 2 national titles as a player at Duke. His father is here, Bob Hurley Sr., longtime head coach at St. Anthony's in Jersey City. And Buffalo is down 2 to West Virginia, trying to pull off the upset. They get it in, a discard, Moss underneath, no good! It comes off the rim with 1:37 to go.
Well, that time Justin Moss got away with what could have been his 5th foul. You mentioned a discard. There was some contact. He simply threw Devin Williams down and had a layup. Dunk the ball, Justin Williams.
Staten directing traffic. 2-point lead for West Virginia. 1:20 on the clock. High screen Williams.
On the middle ball screen, and Juwan Staten wants to be going downhill.
5 to shoot. Staten makes his move on a kick for Brown, a 3. Oh, it's off couldn't grab it initially. Williams hits the deck. It's a scrum for it. And West Virginia's got it. Timeout called by the Mountaineers.
Ball in the air, it's about toughness. This is basically every West Virginia practice. Bearden, nice little move, has the basketball. Devin Williams wants it more. There's a kid with a badly sprained ankle. Been a little bit of foul trouble, he's got asthma. He just wanted the basketball more.
So West Virginia retains it with basically a new shot clock to work with.
Now listen, we saw Boise go into a prevent game and get out of their offense and hold the basketball, and you end up tiring out your point guard when you hold it for 30 seconds and then go. If I'm West Virginia, run an out of bounds play, see if you can get a layup. If you can't, get it to Staten, but keep playing. Don't stop playing with a minute to go on the clock and a 2-point lead. Go play offense to get 2 points or to get to the foul line.
That was the Boise State loss to Dayton in the first 4 a couple of days ago. And now it's West Virginia trying to get to the 3rd round against Buffalo, 64-62. West Virginia with the lead and possession.
Now don't let Juwan, if you're Buffalo, don't let Juwan Staten get the ball back. Make somebody else handle this basketball.
Brown being watched by Evans. We are under a minute to play. Shot clock's at 22.
Lamonte Bearden should be in full denial.
Williams makes his move on Moss, playing with 4 fouls. We're down to 13 to shoot. Staten handles it. 10 on the timer. 35 seconds left. 2-point lead for West Virginia. Staten looking for an opening. Shot clock's at 4. Staten hesitation. Kick out. Jumper. Phillip. Oh! He knocks it down! Tariq Phillip with a 3. 5-point West Virginia lead. Evans can't answer. Rebound. Phillip goes upstairs. 2 huge plays by Phillip down the stretch. 20.9 left in the game. The sophomore Tariq Phillip stepping forward for Bob Huggins and company.
Well, just a simple ball screen, but watch Tariq Phillip lift up as his man goes in to help. That makes the help have to run just a little bit further. That's why you can't allow Juwan Staten to have the basketball, because he's going to make the big play. And Tariq Phillip, he only made 5 threes coming into the game.
Bearden called on the foul. Gary Brown, the captain of this team and a 71% shooter at the stripe. Rims out.
So now you're down 5. Now you look at the bottom of our screen, Buffalo has 1 timeout. Come down, get a quick 2 or a quick 3. Want to get a quick look, and then you probably want to call a timeout.
Trying to extend the lead here. Brown, 20.9 on the clock. 1 out of 2. 68-62 West Virginia. Last tournament win was 2011 for the Mountaineers. Bearden, they're using a lot of time. 13 seconds, a 3 on the way. It's off the mark. Ford tracked down by Staten. 7 seconds left. West Virginia dribbles out the clock. The Mountaineers are moving on. West Virginia avoids the upset. 68-62 over Buffalo as Huggins and Hurley share a moment at midcourt. Good fight from the Buffalo Bulls in their first NCAA tournament, but not enough against West Virginia.
The depth of West Virginia, the ability to get the ball to Juwan Staten and let him make plays. Devin Williams coming back from turning an ankle and getting a big rebound and calling a timeout. Just a play here or a play there for a West Virginia team. They got a little stale offensively, but they found a way to win, and this is how they play. You're going to have to beat them at their style if you want to stop the Ears from advancing.
They will wait for the winner of Maryland and Valparaiso, which is coming up from Columbus. 68-62 the final. West Virginia wins it. Evan Washburn standing by.
Well, Coach, Buffalo gave you everything they have and tied this thing at 62. How were you able to hold them off to get this win?
Well, do what we always do, give the ball to Jawan Staten and let him make something happen. Tariq makes a huge shot for us, but I mean, I think we all feel pretty good when the ball's in his hands.
You mentioned Jawan, and he missed the last 4 games. Having him back, what does it mean to you and this program and this team as you try and make this run?
It's pretty obvious. I mean, what he does down the stretch for us, his ball security, he's been absolutely terrific.
The toughness this team exudes, we spoke to you about it yesterday. Where does that come from?
Well, you try to recruit it as best you possibly can, but I mean, we've got a great bunch of guys that love to play. They've got great enthusiasm for the game.
Well, I'm going to bring in Jawan Staten. He's right behind you. Congratulations, Coach. And Jawan, come on in here. Congratulations on a great win. I spoke with you yesterday, and you were so eager to come back after missing the last 4 games. How do you best describe what this means?
It's just it's a surreal feeling right now. 3 weeks ago, I thought my season was over. I didn't even know if I'd be playing, but just kept the faith, and I owe all this to God because, truthfully, I didn't know if I was going to be playing, but He saw me through it, and we're moving on.
Obviously, you're facing an underdog, and this game's tied at 62 in under 3 minutes. What's going through your mind as you're trying to close this thing out?
Stay poised, keep my teammates poised. We're here for a reason. Like I tell you, my faith is strong, and I believe that God brought us here for a reason. I know He won't forsake us, so I'm just trying to keep myself poised and keep the team poised.
Jawan, congratulations. Survive and advance is what they say. We'll see you on Sunday.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Guys.
All right, Evan, thanks very much. Poise, that is the perfect word for Jawan Staten, and the way he has handled himself and the way that this team handled late game situations. Coming up, Valparaiso and Maryland here on TNT. We'll send you to our studio after these messages. 1 down in Columbus, and West Virginia advances.